Well, as we say on the ATGcast podcast stream all the time, we're living in a time of an embarrassment of riches when it comes to Star Wars content. Since Disney purchased Lucasfilm in 2012, we've gotten 5 theatrical movies, 4 seasons of live action television, the final Clone Wars, and the first Bad Batch animated seasons, hundreds of comic books, dozens of novels, and 5 console and VR video games. And as we learned at Star Wars Celebration, there is no end in sight. The state of Star Wars is strong despite what some of the naysayers may tell you. With every new media release that comes from Lucasfilm, there comes an onslaught of knee jerk negative response. That is not to say that every piece of content since 2012 has been perfect, and ultimately that decision's in the eye of the beholder. What I might think is the ultimate Star Wars storytelling experience, you may find to be boring. What I may find to be against my ideal of what the franchise means, you may discover as the way you want to get Star Wars. It's all subjectives, and it's frustrating as a fan. The current media environment thrives on hot takes and clickbait. There's a rush to be the first one to find a nitpick or a plot hole and drive the traffic to the ad laden website or a click to a YouTube commentary. And while some of the points are valid, a lot are simply designed to gain one of two reactions. Either they want to get you to say, yep, modern Star Wars sucks, or you're just being toxic. And yeah, I said it. A click on a YouTube video or an ad in a website doesn't care if you like what the content on the site says. If you're a Star Wars fan or not, if you agree with the point of view, it doesn't matter. Someone who supports the view of the site is as valuable as those that are offended by it. But that's the real problem. It doesn't matter how you got to an alleged critique, it only matters that you're there. The algorithm pays clicks and traffic, so getting you there is all they care about. And that's the business end of it. But there's more to it. It's also to the problems that are caused by driving traffic with bad takes. It's spawned literally an entire industry based on clickbait that a vast majority of people don't even understand is rumor mongering, straight up lies, or political profiteering. A few weeks before Star Wars Celebration, my father was brushing up on his Star Wars knowledge. And as he was joining me and my son for the pilgrimage to Anaheim, he was going online looking for information. And he said to me, Pete, what is this about Pedro Pascal leaving his role as Din Djarin on The Mandalorian? I asked him, where did you hear that? That is completely untrue. And his reply made my heart sink. He said, some guy named Mike Zero or something. And I lost my mind. For those of you that are not aware, Mike Zero is a YouTuber that earns about $1,000 a month, posting 9-minute videos about stories he has completely fabricated. In the last 2 days alone, he's posted 8 videos with such outlandish headlines as George Lucas now writing Obi-Wan Kenobi and Jon Favreau responds to Obi-Wan Kenobi finale breaking canon. If these were predicated on even the slightest fact, they may actually be interesting. But the problem is they're 100% false. The problem is Zero is not an expert content creator. In fact, his voice is monotone, his lighting sucks, and his delivery is the same every single time. But what he's an expert at is gaming the algorithm. If you go into an incognito tab in your search and you look in so that you have no alteration by your browser history, a search of Star Wars news in YouTube returns 2 of his videos in the top 10 results. What happens as a result is the average normal Star Wars fan is being fed utter bullshit and puts faith in it because a reliable source like YouTube has delivered it. Zero's fantasies about the civil war within Lucasfilm and creators being angry about other creators' stories becomes reality to the middle of the bell curve. They just want to find out what's new. And there's no disclaimer, no admission of bullshit, just collecting a check every month for literally creating entertainment journalism fan fiction. This creates a narrative that there are problems within the creators of one of your favorite franchises. This is then built upon by the next level of clickbait artists, the ones who are not making up news, but driving politics into this franchise. YouTube channels like Geeks and Gamers, Nerdrotic, and RK Outpost make about $5,000 a month with an onslaught of nonstop angry videos reminding people that the reason Star Wars isn't what you want it to be is because of woke politics or forced diversity or any other alt-right buzzword. They incite their radicalized fan base with videos with titles like Star Wars account bullies fans and Disney Star Wars attacks fans on social media. They hate you. They call their videos fair and honest criticism of a show or a movie, but they clutter those arguments with right-wing talking points. The issue here is that they have weaponized Star Wars fandom. They're providing talking points to their hundreds of thousands of fans who take these hate-fueled essays and use them as faux facts to take into places where fans are having enjoyable conversations about their favorite franchise. Now, if you follow me, you know that I don't love every film, episode, and novel that comes out, but I love having conversation with those that like the things that I don't, because that's what being a fan is all about. Understanding another fan's perspective is fun and it makes for interesting conversation. Fans of the clickbait hate sites enter these conversations without invitation and they don't engage in the conversation. They force their way in and pitch whatever they've just seen on their favorite YouTube channel. I can't tell you why. It seems like a rather sad way to exist, but I digress. I'm not here to talk about the ugliness that this brings or the vile comments that come from people who've been trained to spew hate by watching video essays instructing them to push back against people who are different or remind them to, make America great again. I'm talking about what it does to the fandom and fans. A declaration of enjoyment of a particular franchise and its latest content installment becomes a wary entry point into a potential battle zone. It creates a sense of defensiveness. If someone should disagree with you, how do you respond? Are you taking issue with my opinion as a fan or as a political opponent? And to be fair, Star Wars or any fantasy franchise, when it's done right, it's escapism and a departure from these very challenging political times we're currently facing. Most recently, Reva, the character played by Moses Ingram, was the center of attention by sites like Geeks and Gamers. Before the Obi-Wan Kenobi series even aired, they went online and said the show was going to be awful because they had heard rumors that she would be the center of the show. They barely concealed that their problem with it was that she was a black woman. Their attempt to make it a story issue was taking a stand that the show would be all about Reva and it would sideline the main characters, Obi-Wan and Anakin. Then, when the show dropped, they looked for the dreaded plot holes created by this black woman's character and said that she was ruining canon even before the series had aired its third of 6 episodes. When the show finished and it was proven that her screen time was less than a third of Obi-Wan's, their argument shifted to, quote, her character is pointless and had no reason to be on the show other than for forced diversity. Now, as pathetic, ugly, and frankly racist a position this is, I'm not here to fight it. I have a few other videos addressing that. You can probably find them on the channel here. But I'm here to show that the narrative was shifted from being about the show and it armed fans who've decided they don't like Star Wars anymore because of what Disney has done as a parent company, because they were told by angry YouTubers to feel this way. And they took these arguments to the healthy conversations and tried to poison them. Now, this is a cycle, and try as you might to cleanse the timeline of these types of fans, they continue it. There's money in it, whether it comes from turning Star Wars into a sharp stick for political purposes or trying to poke holes in the story. It makes money for creators, and it makes social media a very hard place to be a Star Wars fan. And this has been the case for everything since The Force Awakens. The ability to drive traffic by bringing down the most popular franchises is the surest way to make money. Frankly, it's why ATGcast here on YouTube doesn't do the numbers of Geeks and Gamers. Even the most popular, neutral, and positive leaning YouTube channel, Star Wars Explained, they do less monthly revenue than the medium-sized clickbait sites. Hate and hot takes sell, period. And the more Star Wars we get, the more these voices are going to be amplified. So what's the solution? Well, I don't have one for you, but I do have my own philosophy, and it does get me some pushback sometimes. My position is to call out the bullshit as I see it, use my albeit small voice to highlight the garbage sites to hopefully educate people on what's real and what's not. Elevate good content, knowing it will never rise above the din of the dim-witted in an effort to balance the playing field. It's a losing battle, but one that I feel is worth fighting. So until the YouTube channels and other sites stop monetizing clicks regardless of what it took to get them, the battle will rage. All you can do is be aware of what's real and what's not and try to help others see it. Be the spark that lights the fire. Call out the lies, but most importantly, do your best to not let things that you know are fabricated for clicks impact your enjoyment of the galaxy far, far away. The very fact that every piece of content that Lucasfilm and Disney releases for the foreseeable future is guaranteed to attract this sliver of negativity for revenue, well, that's the surest sign that our favorite franchise is not going anywhere. The state of Star Wars is strong, so let's have some fun.